Hey guys, happy Topic Tuesday. Emily Smiley here. Welcome. I'm excited to chat with you guys today. Today's Hot Topic Tuesday is haters. We are talking about the haters. It's kind of something that isn't necessarily talked about, but anybody that has been on social media for any amount of time with any sort of profile has definitely run across their share of the haters. So first off, welcome if you're new to the page. And yesterday, if you didn't check out the Facebook Live, it was on ads. So this is a little bit in continuance of that, because if you are running a public Facebook business page or anything on social media that is a public figure type page, and you are running any sort of likes campaigns or ads, really just trying to get, prospects and people that are looking for you, you are going to run across haters. So I say congrats, because as we say in our community, if you don't have haters, then you don't have a big enough business. And so that's what we're going to chat about a little bit today. And hopefully I can give you the 3 different types of people and then what to do about them, not necessarily just, ban them, although that might be an option. So stick with me and I'll kind of get to that. But anyway, when I first started building my business online and I got my public page, they tell you to interact with everyone, especially if you're getting engagement and, you're going a lot through, Messenger chat. If you're not using Messenger voice, then you are really losing out. You need to get on that. It's super effective, but, you're going to get different types of people, and some of them are not necessarily what you call haters, right? There's 3 different types of people that we kind of defined in our community. Number 1, you're going to get creepers. And a lot of, people are like, oh, I got all these people. They're not really interested in, my health and wellness company at all. They're not interested in anything. They're your creepers. They're not there to learn. They're not there for you to give any sort of valuable information. They do not actually care. They're just using Facebook maybe perhaps as a creep site, a dating site, a connecting, I don't know, but they're not there for value. We all deal with them. They are harassing, and you frankly don't need to get back to them. So the second type that you probably will get is trolls, right? We've all gotten them, especially on ads. A troll would be there to try to get a rise out of you, or purposefully upset you. Your pot stirrers, right? They're not necessarily haters. They just like stirring it up. They might say, oh, that's crap. Your product doesn't work. They might post a link that says, it's a scam. They'll Google something and find something negative and put that underneath in the comments on your ad. We all get them. Trolls, their whole purpose is to, just stir the pot. They're not necessarily full-blown haters. They just want to get a rise out of anybody, and they're just trolling all sorts of things, commenting on things, basically to start social media back and forth, right? We've all seen that thread that maybe started a little bit controversial, and then you get into the thread and you're like, oh, that went downhill fast. People just spending all their time just back and forth and really wasting their time, right? So the trolls. And then the last and final is a true hater. And so, I say congrats, because you've got to have someone in your corner going, okay, nobody likes it when people don't like them, right? We all have a need that we want to, we want people to like us. But the reality is as you get out there and you find your niche and you find your tribe and you find your people, there's going to be people that don't resonate with that. And you really have to come to terms with that being okay. Sometimes to find more of your niche, you're going to repel the people that you want, which is good, because you don't want to spend your time or waste your time with them sucking all of your time doing that, right? So I've taught group of fitness classes, for 20 years now. And sometimes I step in and I sub, or I take a new class. And a lot of times I will intro myself and say, this is the style that I teach. I would love for you to stay. You're going to get a great workout. Please have an open mind. And if I'm not your cup of tea and this format or this style or my style is not for you, like no harm, no foul. Give it 3 chances. And then if it's not your jam, like you won't hurt my feelings if you move on. And so a lot of times in business, in particularly maybe even affiliate network marketing, we get offended if our product or our service or whatever is not for people. But reality is that needs to be okay. Now, you push it one step further and you're going to end up with haters. Now, sometimes haters have simply maybe had a bad experience in network marketing, maybe a bad experience with the company or the product, or for whatever reason, they just hate you for everything, right? We've all been there. Like, I hate that you look this way, or I hate that your voice sounds this way, or I hate that, you have a Southern accent, or that you live in California, or whatever the reason, they're going to find it, right? In my business, I always tell my new team, I'm like, if someone's looking for a problem, they're going to find it. And if they're looking for a solution, they're going to find it. And it is the same in business. And I say that on this page as well. If you are looking to solve a problem in your business, you will find it. But if you're looking for a scam, or you're looking for a pyramid, or you're looking for whatever it is, do you come across as a hater? But even more than that, we are all going to come across them for whatever reason. And you put a person behind a screen or a car, if you've ever driven on the road, and people get really daring. They get really ballsy, right? Like they just think that because you can't see them, that there's not a person behind there. But you will come across all 3 of these in building your business, especially as you put yourself out there, as you leverage, as you automate, as you reach and touch more people. So just know that the more people that you're reaching and the bigger your tribe and your team and your community and the people that you're with, you're going to repel some people. And there's trollers out there, and they don't know you. They don't have anything to do with you. They're just going to creep or troll or hate on anybody and anything. And that's just the way that it goes, right? No haters, no progress. So if you have them all, congratulations. You are well on your way. That means that you are reaching them. It doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. I used to think that in the very beginning. I took everything to heart. I thought like if a person commented, I needed to comment back, even though it was a little weird or creepy or whatever. And now I've just learned, you can ignore it. It doesn't mean that you have to be nice or have to comment, right? And it doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. It actually means that you're doing it right. And that's where having a community of like-minded individuals that are building the same as you are, you can take that to and go, dude, I've got this like really weird person. They're not interested at all, but they're on my page all the time. What do I do about that? And you'll get other people going, oh, I feel you. And they kind of share their same experiences, right? That's so important. So what can you do? Well, mentally, there's a few things that you can do. Number 1, mentally, you just need to stay calm. You don't need to let people like, get your goat or get a rise out of you or get you upset or anything like that. You don't need to be defensive. They are literally out there trying to push the buttons to get a rise out of you. So keep it light. Keep your sense of humor about it. Sometimes, maybe it's funny. I mean, we laugh about it sometimes in the community. It's like, oh my gosh, look what this person commented on this. Isn't this hilarious? And, just keep it light. Be in a community that helps you to do that and to put that into perspective. Now, when you decide to build online, it doesn't necessarily mean that you decide that you have to be nice to every single person. You are reaching like millions, maybe if you're running, you're reaching thousands of people per ad, hundreds of thousands of people. And if it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be nice to every single person just because maybe you would in real life. Right? Now, I'm not saying like be ugly. I'm just saying you just don't even have to give it your time at all. Most of the time you can ignore it. You can delete it. I actually would suggest, and this is one of my tips, is to hide it. If you hide the comment, it actually helps your algorithm and your engagement. And there's something about just knowing that person is just spewing into the abyss, which is amazing. Now, you can ban them from your page, but I would take it one step further and I would block them because I have had people on one page, maybe cross over and reach out and try to connect with you on your personal page. So if it's just someone, doesn't matter if they're a creeper, a troll, a hater, if you get to the point where you are hiding the comment and then you're banning them from your page, go ahead and take that extra step to block them so that they can't find you on another page. Because like most of us, we have a few pages that we're managing, and they get a lot of satisfaction out of that. So, trolls make comments on ads. You can hide the comments. Another actionable step that you can take is that I got from a friend in our community is you can respond with facts, right? So you just never know why people comment, the way that they do. And you may never win over that person, but a lot of times people within the comments, maybe you're educating them, and then everyone maybe needs to see that. So for instance, I've run an ad for a free 10-day boot camp, right? And it's literally 10 days of free information to help you build online. And someone commented scam, which is normal. Like, they took the time to see the ad, blah, 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 right? And I said, actually, it's free content. You're welcome to do it. And they're like, well, blah, nothing's ever free, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, it is a business, ha, ha, ha. Again, you can make light of it. You can't, duh, people make their business out here. It is a sponsored ad, which means you had to pay to run it. But there is free value in here if you'd like to check it out. You don't have to buy anything. It is free content. So you can educate them. A lot of times if you're trying to share in network marketing, how many of us have heard it's a pyramid scheme, it's a scheme. And we're like, well, that scheme is paying my bills, right? So you know better because you're educated on it. And so sometimes if you put a link for something, it allows people the opportunity to educate themselves. Now, whether they take it up or not, that's fine, but it does give you an actionable step. So sometimes the comments, even though they may be troll-like in nature, they are a direct response of how a lot of people feel. So you could address the criticism surrounding whatever the topic is. If one person comments that they think it's a scam, it allows you the opportunity to address that that critical question or that rejection or objection, that a person probably does have about that. So it allows you the opportunity to have that conversation, even if it's just within the comments of a sponsored ad that you are running. Does that make sense? I hope that's helpful, because that was literally, I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Because when you're looking at your metrics on your ads and you're like, okay, well, this is doing well, people are clicking into this, but they're not doing this, they're not doing this. Maybe they need that question answered. And if you're seeing that, particularly on whatever ad copy that you've written for that, and that's the theme running underneath it, maybe you should try addressing it, right? So that's just an example of that. The last one is, if you respond, make sure that you keep your cool. So if you choose to, respond to that person, just stay professional. So for instance, like when someone was commenting under the free opt-in that I had, and they were like, oh, this is a scam. And I was like, well, actually it's free content. They're like, oh, nothing's free. And I was like, well, I run a business, but this is truly free. You should check it out. And then I just left it at that. And they continue on. And it was like, okay, I've professionally addressed this. I've made lighthearted of it. Clearly I run a business, right? I paid for the sponsored post or the sponsored ad to run. I'm offering you free, content about this. What you do with it is up to you. So just keep your cool, keep it professional. Use it to then create something, right? So when I've had these experiences with these people, I can pass these along to you guys, right? You could maybe make an Insta story about it, or you could make a post about it, like, oh my gosh, why it's actually not a scam or whatever. And so one of the ads that I have repeatedly used is about how we changed the name of it, but basically I was running errands and trying to prospect every single person around me, right? And what that led to is you're open and you're looking for people, and then I got hit on running errands. And so the title was How to Run Errands Without Getting Hit On and Still Build Your Team. because it ended up to be a really funny story. It's like, okay, if I'm prospecting every single person within a 3-foot radius of me, that's putting out a certain kind of energy, but I'm building a business. I am not trying to date someone. And so it made it this funny story about, this is what I don't want to do. And this is, have you had this chance or this happen in your business as well? And what happened was, a lot of people had, right? They're out there, they're trying to make these connections, they're trying to chat with people, and then they ended up chatting with people that are not interested in their business at all. They're interested in other things that has nothing to do with teaching them or joining your business or opportunity or product or whatever it is, right? So you can use these opportunities, these haters, the trollers, to then turn it around and then maybe write an email if you've got an email list of people, and just say, you won't believe what happened to me, right? You've got to remind yourself of that. When you have bad days, don't you sometimes think like, oh, this is going to make a really good story later on? And you're like, you understand at the time it's not fun, but then later on you're like, okay, it's kind of funny. It's a little bit funny, as my son would say. He likes to say that. Mom, it's a little bit funny. So keep it professional and then use it. Maybe write a blog on how to deal with toxic people. I've seen a ton of blogs, but make it interesting. And then you get to help others as well. Because these helped me when they were shared with me, when I was like, oh, hide the comment instead of deleting it, and then you still get the social proof, right? It's still, you still get the interactions that you want. And there's something to like them throwing it out there that's a little bit like rewarding, right? And then making sure that you block them and not just ban them, block them across everything, because you don't want to deal with that. You just don't need that toxic in your life, right? So what can you do on social media? We've got all these, you've got trollers and creepers and haters and whatever, but just know that when you are consistent and you're showing up daily, you will attract the right kind of people. If you're in health and wellness, and I use that one a lot because it is the largest, and you are showing up to share your wealth and your knowledge, not on your products, but what they do for you and your life and what you've learned in the health and wellness, and you are consistent with that, you're going to attract the right kind of people into your business. And it's going to be so much easier than running errands and trying to chat with people, right? And you're going to connect with those that are responding, and you're going to be able to help them. So if they're building online and you're like, oh, don't worry about this, I've been building online, you're going to get creepers. It just happens. Like, I see it all the time in our community. Somebody's like, oh, I got this like person and it's all and this is not what I wanted at all. And what am I doing wrong? And then everyone in there is like, oh, no. It's okay. We've gotten this. This is what you do. Don't worry about it. Don't respond to it. Just ignore it. If you need to, hide it, and ban them, do that. And it's like, whew, okay, I thought I was doing something wrong there, right? So connecting with people and then responding to the ones that do. So if you are doing those things and connecting with the right people, then you're going to have those positive connections as well. It's not just going to be all, negative. And lead with value, right? Part of the reason why people are, commenting for different things is because people are skeptical, right? They don't want to be scammed. They don't want to be misinformed. They don't want to be, whatever it is that they're commenting. That's because that is their fear. And so if you address it and just go like, no, I just want to help you with this. If you're looking for health and wellness, blah, 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 I can really help you. This is what I have to offer. This is what this does. And this is what you could also try. Because when you lead with value and you educate them, then people realize that you care. And most of us get in business, whatever problem it is that you solve, because that's what your business does. If you lead with that value and you show people that you care, then that matters, and you're building that trust with them. So you're literally doing the opposite of all those people just trolling through there. So instead of posting something up and putting the link to your company website, or even the link in the comments, that does mess up, for the record, your influence about where that gets sent, your algorithm, right? So, when you lead with value, then people are going to build trust with you, and you're going to become valuable to them. And they're going to seek you out not because they're a creeper or a troll or a hater, but because they know, like, and trust you. And if you're in health and wellness and your product and your opportunity is that, when they have that issue, you're going to be their go-to person for their health and wellness. You're going to be their go-to person because you've shared information that they have already used, and it's been helpful to them. You've helped them in their journey in some small way. And when you have an opportunity or you have a sale on something and they're like, wow, yeah, okay, yeah, she helped me in the past and I trust her, and this is something that I could definitely use now. Now, realizing that means that you are not running out chasing after all of these people. You are attracting them to you. You're attracting your vibe and your tribe to you because you're building that know, like, and trust around the niche that you're building your brand, and not just your company. Does that make sense? I hope so. So I hope that makes you become valuable to them. Whether or not you sell them a product or an opportunity, it still makes you valuable and trustworthy, which is what we strive to be. And unfortunately, that's not always the case here on social media, and that's sad. And that is why people are critical and hesitant and trolling and haters. There's people that are just going to be like that, period, and that's fine. But there's also the people that are just skeptics. So understanding and knowing the difference and not just flying off the handle because you see a comment that you're so offended by, instead of keeping your cool and realizing, is this person a hater? Or does this question really probably reasonable one and need to maybe be addressed? Be trustworthy, be reasonable, become valuable for people. It's helpful. All right, guys, I hope these tips were helpful for you in building your business online, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.